the hunt for history continues. A rising star with plenty of swagger is on track for a repeat championship, but getting there will be a challenge. One of the most talented fields in the sport of fitness is hoping to keep him from riding off into the sunset. They are running out of time to corral him. Only 4 events remain. Up next, a unique test of strength that can wreak havoc on the athletes and the standings. The Texas Oak awaits. This is the 2022 Rogue Invitational. Hi, everybody, and welcome to the end of day 2 of competition at the 2022 Rogue Invitational. I'm Sean Woodland with 3-time Affiliate Cup champ Adrian Conway. We are through 6 events. Event number 7, the Texas Oak, is coming up next. But Adrian, through 6 events, what has stood out to you about the men's competition?
Right now, the thing that stands out to me is the way that we've watched the lead be exchanged through the 3 heavy hitters so far that we've seen. Jason Hopper, Roman Kronikoff, and Justin Medeiros, which he is still the one that we see at the top of the leaderboard up to now, really still showing us that he is the king of consistency.
Before we get into event 7, the Texas Oak, here's a look back at the first 6 events. The opening event of the 2022 Rogue Invitational was a 4.2-mile trek through hill country outside of Austin, Texas. Jason Hopper took command early and would get the win with a time of 31 minutes, 27.06 seconds. Event 2 was the first held at Dell Diamond Stadium. Justin Medeiros, who was looking to be the first man to repeat as Rogue Invitational champion, earned his first victory of the competition. Justin Medeiros is going to win Event 2! Event number 3 featured 405-pound back squats paired with box jump overs. Justin Medeiros would take 3rd, opening up his overall lead.
Justin doing what he does best, playing the field and executing to have a top finish each and every event.
Another competitor was looking to make a move on the final event of day 1. Roman Kronikoff demolished the competition in DT with a spin. Roman Kronikoff, 100 points as he takes DT with a spin. Medeiros would finish 5th. This morning at Dell Diamond started with Event 5, the Turtle, where Justin Medeiros made his first mistake of the competition. A no rep for Justin Medeiros. I don't believe he got all the way over the line, so Medeiros in an early hole here. Medeiros would not recover, taking 12th in the event, with the men directly behind him in the standings, all finishing ahead of him. He shook off his mistake in the following test, a bracket-style elimination event called the Duel II. In the final 2 heats, he proved why he was the favorite to win it all, and this is how it shook out. Round 4 underway. Top 2 men moving on. Justin Medeiros and Pat Vellner at the same time make the touch, and then Koski stumbles coming off the mat. Chandler Smith got to work first on the overhead squats just ahead of Vellner and Medeiros, and Vellner, a no rep. He's moving pretty quickly here.
2 no reps for Koski as well.
Medeiros and Chandler Smith. Here comes Jorge Fernandez.
Medeiros has to go quick with that bag. Jorge's going to make slight work. Lots of speed.
Here comes Fernandez. It's going to be Medeiros, Fernandez, Chandler Smith, Pat Vellner, and then Yona Koski is going to finish in 5th place. Winner take all, Fernandez versus Medeiros here in the Duel II. Medeiros first up the rope. He'll be first to the barbell. Fernandez got hung up a little bit.
Yeah, the descend matters, and there is a skill and a technique in the proper descend to allow yourself to not get hung up in that rope, and Justin showed us there.
Fernandez making up a little ground here. Medeiros is going to be the first man to the sandbag, but here comes Fernandez.
Can he make up the ground? It looks like it's too much.
Medeiros is going to hold him off, and an event win for the defending Rogue champion. After 6 events, defending champion Justin Medeiros sits on top of the overall leaderboard, but 2020 champion Pat Vellner is only 20 points behind him. Roman Krenikoff sits in third place with 435 points, but Sam Quant and Jeffrey Adler are lurking only 15 points back. Up next is Event 7, the Texas Oak. The men have already taken the field, but we'll catch you up on all the action after a short break. It is time to move some weight when the 2022 Rogue Invitational continues.
This CBS Sports Spectacular, the 2022 Rogue Invitational on CBS Sports is sponsored by Rogue, Don't Weaken, and by Go Ruck, the Rucking Company. They build the world's toughest gear for rucking and training.
Time to move big weight. Event 7, the Texas Oak, is underway here at the 2022 Rogue Invitational. I'm Sean Woodland with three-time Affiliate Cup champ Adrian Conway. Now, this is a 1-rep max log lift starting at 260 pounds for the men. Before we take you down to the field, Adrian, what are your keys to the event?
Bend those arms, squat down, get that bar high into the abdominals before you extend those hips as fast as possible in order to get the load into the best position that you can. Speed can win, but only if through that dip and drive phase, you get the log traveling vertically and not out in front of you.
Event 7 is already underway. 18 athletes remain as the men work their way through the current weight of 270 pounds. And joining us in the booth is former America's Strongest Man, Jerry Pritchett. Jerry, how great is it to see CrossFitters taking on strongman events?
Well, I think that's one of the coolest things right now that's happening in a lot of CrossFit gyms is they're kind of merged with CrossFit and strongman implements. These are incredible athletes. They should crush these early rounds, which is what we're seeing right now. They're all handling it very well.
Next four out, Noah Olson, Chandler Smith, Bjorgvin Gudmundsson, and Jeffrey Adler.
Chandler looking sharp.
Chandler Smith was a good
That
press.
was smooth.
Gudmundsson is good. And Jeffrey Adler is going to drop it. So he and Noah Olson have yet to clear this weight. Olson trying to get the crowd behind him a little bit. Jeffrey Adler stepping back up to 270 as well. Adler just does not seem sure of himself to set up, so he and Olson will bow out. A bit of a surprise here.
Huge surprise there for Adler. He is one of the stronger males in our field.
And you can tell Olson there on the second clean, he was really wide in his stance. Really hard to generate a lot of power from that wide.
Top four men are up. Quant, Krenikoff, Vellner, and Medeiros.
Medeiros missed
Failed
that
clean for Medeiros. Krenikoff is through. Sam Quant unable to save it. The top two men in the overall standings have yet to complete their lift at 270. This could be big for Roman Krenikoff. Medeiros has the clean. And unable to get the jerk, and now Pat Vellner will not be able to make it. Here's Sam Quant, and Quant stays alive. Quant got inside the time cap, and he looks strong on this lift. Fast elbows, good positioning overhead, and it is official. Medeiros and Vellner timed out before they made a successful lift. Big loss for the two men at the top of the standings as the next heat of men step up to take on the 280-pound Oak. Scott Tetlow, Jack Farlow, and Tim Paulson. And Tetlow is through.
Yeah, he looked strong there. Now, Jerry, you mentioned foot position here. Some of these guys are starting to widen their stance almost in the initial pull. Is that something that you would encourage, or would you encourage them to start with a more traditional, like, narrow base?
I'd want something a little more shoulder width, and then I know sometimes they're stepping out on the clean.
Right.
I'd want to take that step back in before I press, because you're losing a lot of power. He is so wide.
Right, yeah.
Right now, it's hard to generate a lot of drive that wide.
Farlow on the left and Paulson on the right, and Paulson will get it. And Paulson is fired up. Get that man on a Echo bike right now.
Anytime for Paulson. He is always fired up.
Jorge Fernandez, Heiner Kapperlein, Saxon Panchik, and Nick Matthew are the next men out. Saxon Panchik fails again. Matthews good. Fernandez is good, and Hapalainen will miss. So each round so far has been a battle for Saxon Panchik. 280 pounds on that log.
When he gets those elbows up in a good position and doesn't hang out there too long, he gets it done.
Hapalainen is good, and Saxon Panchik unable to make it. So it looks like Saxon Panchik is going to be eliminated.
Great recovery there by Henrik and able to execute on his second attempt.
Jonakoski is out there with Gerard and Hopper.
Oh, Ricky's putting up a
fighting here.
Taking a lot of energy to get that clean.
And unable to hit the jerk. Now, at that point, should you just ditch it and start over?
I think I would start over because try to wrestle that thing into that rack position. It really setting up for a bad attempt on the press.
Yeah, it's interesting in that way. It's very different than that sandbag that we watched them do at the games because they only had to get it to their shoulder, so they could put up the fight once the momentum was there.
And Jonakoski was close, but unable to lock it out. Gerard rolling it up. Hopper unable to stabilize. And Ricky Gerard will hit it.
Huge comeback.
Yeah, that was a great lift for him.
You see how he got it in the rack position that time? He got to pull his elbows together. So it really held that rack position really well. So when he dipped, log didn't move, and he got all that drive going overhead.
Chandler Smith will step out with Bjorgvin Carl Gudmundsson next. Chandler Smith was able to make his first attempt. Bjorgvin Gudmundsson could not lock out the jerk.
Yeah, Chandler made light work of that 280.
Bjorgvin Gudmundsson trying to get some help here from the fans at Dell Diamond Stadium.
Come on, BKG.
That bar, or the log, pardon me, may have clipped the top of his head on the way down on that last attempt. And Gudmundsson was able to start his lift and unable to get under it.
What a tough break there for BKG. He got the bar in position, he got it locked out, but he just didn't have his left foot in the right spot to secure the lift.
Roman Krenikov on the right, Sam Quant on the left, 280 pounds.
He's ready to attack. Good clean. Solid press.
Krenikov has it.
Solid press.
And Quant unable to win that fight.
Sits down in the lap. Nice tight in the crease of the hip. The rack. Huge press overhead.
Your overall leaders bow out early. The field gets smaller and the pressure rises as the weights get heavier. Stay tuned for more action here at the 2022 Rogue Invitational. Back at Dell Diamond Stadium in Round Rock, Texas, as the 7th of 10 events, the Texas Oak continues. We are moving on to the 290-pound log, and the biggest story so far, the two men who did not make it to this point. Overall leader and defending champion Justin Medeiros and 2020 Invitational champ Pat Vellner both failed to get their lifts at 270 pounds completed inside the 1-minute time cap. That has opened the door for both Roman Krenikov, who came into this event in 3rd place overall, and Chandler Smith, who has been creeping up the standings and is currently in 7th. Both of those men are still alive in this event and have had little trouble up to this point. Heinrich Hapalainen and Jorge Fernandez have just missed their lifts at 290. Nick Matthew and Ricky Gerard are the next to go. Ricky Gerard has been heading the wrong way in the overall standings right now. 11th place overall. Had a great start to the competition. Back-to-back 3rd place finishes, but since then an 18th, a 10th, an 11th, and then an 18th. Yet to see a man hit 290 pounds. Matthew not able to make it. Gerard wasn't even able to clean it yet. Still plenty of time in the window.
Once he started coming out of the lap, you see how it really stretched him forward. You got to really get locked in that kind of like an upright row position as you just to keep it up on your upper abdomen there.
Gerard just trying to
see how
muscle
he
that
starts
thing
coming up
up.
and his elbows drop. Your elbows really got to be like a high row, holding that log in position.
Here comes Nick Matthew for another attempt. Matthew able to make the clean and not able to make the jerk. Gerard still has yet to complete the clean, and now he has it, but did he spend too much energy getting to this point? And Ricky Gerard just not able to stabilize it.
He just spent so much energy on those first couple cleans.
Yeah, and one thing we've learned about Ricky, I'll tell you what, he's a fighter. He's going to continue to fight until they tell him to step off that platform.
You got to love that. The competitor goes out there and he gives it their all until the whistle blows.
Look at Chandler Smith and Roman Krennikov.
You got to love it.
They're competing, but they're trying to get each other fired up.
Let's see somebody hit this. Well, they both got a great shot at crushing this.
When you feel the most beat up, this is it. This is what you visualize. This is it.
As hard as days it was to get out of bed, make yourself train and get through it. It's this moment right here, right now.
Chandler Smith and Roman Krennikov trying to become the first men to clear 290. Roman has it.
Wow.
Chandler Smith has it. And here we go.
300 pounds. Here we come.
You got to love it. You got to love it. The same hands-up position that Chandler Smith gave the audience last year after, in not the prettiest way, getting through that clean and jerk. And now he made that look really smooth.
Both of those were great.
Only two men remain, Chandler Smith and Roman Krennikov. They square off for the event win in the Texas Oak when we return to the 2022 Rogue Invitational.
This CBS Sports Spectacular, the 2022 Rogue Invitational on CBS Sports, is sponsored by BTWB. Fitness is a journey. And by Rogue. Don't weaken.
Welcome back to the 2022 Rogue Invitational. We are in the 7th of 10 events, the Texas Oak. We started with 20 men, only 2 are left. The 290-pound log proved to be the undoing for 8 of the 10 athletes who made it to that point of the event. None of them were able to clear that weight, but 2 men were able to complete a rep at 290, Chandler Smith and Roman Krennikov, and now they are set to face the 300-pound Texas Oak. That's what awaits, 300-pound Texas Oak, that beautiful implement that was crafted by Steve Slater and his son Landon.
Looks like Chandler Smith's going to take the platform first.
Chandler Smith is lower in the overall standing, so he will go first. 300 pounds now.
There you go. It's your moment. It's trained for. Come on, let's go.
Chandler Smith up first, 300 pounds.
Wow.
Great clean.
And he will make
looking
it.
Good.
Wow, game on. All right, Roman.
Oh, and guys, I've got nothing but positive things about Chandler Smith here in this replay, as it looks as if he's getting better as we continue to add load to the log. And then, of course, a celebration. You know what time it is.
We have waited for a long time to see this man compete in person in North America, and so far he has been worth the wait.
Absolutely worth the wait.
Crowd's behind him.
Puts on a show every time.
Krennikov to tie Smith and move this thing to another round. He won't get it.
I think that clean was a little tougher than his previous cleans. It slid on him a little bit. He's really got to get that high in the abdomen and lock in that high row.
Plenty of time for Roman Krennikov, and Chandler Smith is
Come on, let's go after it.
trying to encourage Krennikov to get through this weight.
There you go, high row. Come on, the elbow's high.
And Roman just can't get under it. So Chandler Smith is going to win the event. Roman Krennikov will finish in second place. And a great show put on by those two gentlemen.
Yeah, a lot like we've been talking about throughout this entire event. Set yourself up for good overhead position with the solid clean. He did a great job keeping those elbows high, as Jerry mentioned, getting himself in a good position, driving that weight directly over his head.
Chandler Smith is your winner at 300 pounds. Roman Krenikoff right behind him at 290. Gerard finishes third. The biggest surprise, neither Medeiros nor Vellner can get past 260 pounds, both finishing outside the top 10. Kiki Dixon is down on the field with your event winner, Chandler Smith.
What was the biggest challenge with this Texas Oak? It looked like you had more in the tank.
I was really lucky. I got to work with a couple really good strongmen. I got to work with Rob Carney, who you guys have seen. He's awesome. And the Hatch brothers, Zach and Nick, helped me out. So they made it to where this was pretty familiar, and the weight moved well.
It sure did. It was very exciting to watch. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Overall standings now, Roman Krenikoff is back in the lead. He picks up 70 points on Medeiros in that event.
Wow.
Pat Vellner now sits in third place, and Chandler Smith has moved from 7th to 4th place, just 5 points back of Patrick Vellner for a spot on the podium. Chandler Smith leads the way in the Texas Oak. His 300-pound lift continues to propel him up the standings. Roman Krenikoff leads. He is back on top of the leaderboard. History is on hold for now. Justin Medeiros is lurking in second place and will do everything he can to wrangle that top spot from his Russian rival. 3 events remain. Every point is massive, and every mistake will be costly. The showdown in Texas heads towards its exciting conclusion at the 2022 Rogue Invitational. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports.